out of the first of all manifestations, whom upholds the earth, who has the form of the manifold, Vishnu, the Creator. Having heard about the purifying duties exhaustively, Yudhisthira said to the son of Shantanu,
"What duty of all duties do you think, Supreme? By repeating whose name is a creature freed from the bondage of birth and transmigration?"
the Lord of the world, the God of gods, the infinite, the supreme person, by praising him constantly by means of his 1,000 names, a person is always uplifted. And by worshipping him alone, constantly with devotion, the imperishable person, by meditating on him, by praising him, and by prostrating to him alone, the worshipper, the aspirant, is freed. Having neither beginning nor end, Vishnu, the great Lord of all the world, the witness of the world, by constantly praising him, one can pass beyond all sorrows. The well-wisher of Brahma, the knower of all dharmas, the enhancer of the fame of men, the Lord of the world, the truth absolute, the source of evolution of all things. This, I think, is the most excellent dharma of all the dharmas, that with devotion a man should always glorify the lotus-eyed Lord by praises. He is the supreme great light. He is the supreme great ruler. He is the supreme great Brahman. He is the supreme highest good, goal. He is the purest of the pure and the most auspicious of the auspicious and the most divine of divinities. He is the imperishable Father of creatures. From him all creatures proceed in the beginning of an age, and in him they are absorbed again at the end of the age. Of that, chief of the world, of the Lord of the universe, O King, of Vishnu, hear from me the 1,000 names which remove all sin and fear. Those famous names of the great soul which bring out his manifold qualities celebrated by rishis, I shall declare for the good of all. The rishi of the 1,000 names is Vedavyasa, the great contemplative sage. The Mita is Anushta, and the deity is the blessed son of Devaki. Om Vishnu, conqueror, great Vishnu, creator, the great Lord, to him of many forms, the destroyer of demons, to that supreme person I bow. Oh! Of the form of the universe, entering everything and every being, of the form of Yana, Lord of past, present, and future, creator of all beings, sustainer of all beings, becoming the universe without losing his nature as pure existence, self of being, evolving and nourishing creatures, pure self, supreme spirit, ultimate goal of the emancipated, imperishable, person residing in the city of the 9 gates, witness, knower of the field, changeless, attainable through yoga, leader of knowers of yoga, master of Prakriti and Purusha. Of the half-human and half-lion form, on whose chest Lakshmi resides, slayer of the demon Keshi, supreme person, the all, destroyer, free from the three gunas, motionless, first cause, unchanging resting place for all beings during dissolution, incarnating, giver of boons, nourisher of all, underlying reality, origin of everything, almighty, ruler of all, self-begotten, bestower of good, golden person within the sun, lotus eye, of the mighty sounds of the Vedas, without birth or death, supporter of the universe, dispenser of the fruit of actions, greater than Brahma, indefinable, Lord of the senses, from whose navel the cosmic lotus springs, Lord of immortals, architect of the universe, thinking being, producer of all, biggest, primeval and firm, imperceptible, eternal, dark blue, ground of bliss, red-eyed, bringer of total destruction, ever full of the six attributes, foundation of the three realms, purifier, supremely auspicious, controller of all, giver of life, life of life, oldest, dweller in the cosmic golden egg, holding the earth in his womb, consort of Lakshmi, realized through silence, slayer of the demon Madhu, omnipotent, full of mighty prowess, wielder of the bow, supremely intelligent, riding on the white eagle, measuring the whole world with one step, unequaled, unconquerable by asuras, grateful for even the small acts of devotion and worship, dynamic force behind all activities, self-supported, God of gods, supreme refuge, infinite bliss, seed of the universe, source of all beings, eternal day, Lord of time, difficult to grasp like a serpent, consciousness, all-seeing, unborn, sovereign Lord of all, eternally perfect, highest attainment. Primary cause, infallible, for who saved the world from unrighteousness, immeasurable, free from all contacts with attachments, in whom all beings dwell and who dwells in all beings, high-minded, unchangeable, ever-existing truth, same in all, easy of access, treating all equally, unfailing, realized in the lotus in the heart of righteous actions, of the form of the dharmas, causing beings to cry, many-headed, supporter of worlds, universal matrix of pure sweet names, immortal, everlasting and firm, supreme destination of infinite knowledge, going everywhere, omniscient and effulgent, whose near sight scatters hostile armies, punisher of the wicked, and bestower of blessings on the virtuous, giver of knowledge, knower of the Vedas, without imperfection, whose very limbs are the Vedas, spreader of the knowledge of the Vedas, all-seeing, presiding over all worlds, presiding over heaven, witnesser of righteousness and unrighteous actions, cause as well as effect, of fourfold nature, manifesting in four mighty powers, of 4 teeth, 4 arms, essence of light illuminating everything, food, object of enjoyment, enjoyer, subduer of enemies, born in the beginning of the universe, sinless, victorious, excelling all others, sower of seeds in the womb of the universe, residing again and again in bodies, younger brother of Indra, of dwarfish stature, tallest, whose activities never go to waste, spotlessly clean, infinitely strong and vital, who surpasses Indra, absorbing the entire universe into himself during dissolution, matter, immutable although ever assuming so many forms, appointing authority, external and internal ruler, worth knowing, knower of all skills and sciences, eternal yogi, slayer of demonical heroes, lord of knowledge, honey of love and bliss, beyond the sense organs, Master of Maya, the power of illusion, ever dynamic, stronger than the strong, of unlimited wisdom and understanding, cosmic energy, supreme power of manifestation and grace, of splendorous light, of indefinable form, constantly courted by glories, inestimable, supporter of the great mountain, mighty archer, supporter of the earth, abode of Lakshmi, the goal of the virtuous, who cannot be deterred or obstructed, giver of joy to gods, master of cows, earth, speech, Lord of all knowers of the Vedas, supremely lustrous, who chastises and controls, the state of realization of I am that, the eagle of beautiful wings, the best of serpents, of golden navel, possessing the great power of concentration of mind and control of senses, of lotus navel, lord of all creatures, knowing no death or decay, all-seeing, ferocious lion, bestower of fruits, rejoicing over the fruits which he confers on his devotees, unchanging and stable, moving in the heart of devotees and throwing away brutal demons, who cannot be endured by his enemies, controlling all by scriptural laws, the supreme self described in the Vedas, destroyer of the enemies of celestials, first teacher, greatest teacher, final abode, greatest speaker of truth, of true valor, with closed eyes, always wide awake, always wearing the Vaijayanti garland, which represents the 5 elements in their gross and subtle forms, master of all sciences and of vast intellect, lifting aspirants to the highest liberation, director of beings, of unsurpassed loveliness and grandeur, justice, logic and reason, plying the cosmic wheel of evolution, cause of every movement in the world, with 1,000 uncountable heads, soul of the universe, with 1,000 eyes, with 1,000 feet, turner of the cosmic wheel, transcendental being, free of all identifications, veiled by Maya, annihilator of all, sun god who regulates days, fire, homeless, breathing perpetually as air, the bearer of the earth, bestowing grace liberally, ever pure and cheerful, subduer and conqueror of all, protecting and enjoying all, manifesting in an endless variety of forms, honoring the good and the wise, honored and adored by the good and wise, of righteous actions, abandoning all those lacking in devotion and wisdom, sole refuge for embodied beings, guide, of countless names and forms, imperceptible, unique, lawgiver, immaculate, who has gained all there is to gain, accomplishing immediately whatever he wills, fulfiller of all desires, giver of powers, means for all achievements, possessing offerings made in rituals, showering blessings on devotees, who measures the entire universe in 3 steps. Steps in the ladder to the ultimate reality, holding all beings in his belly during dissolution, nourisher of all, expanding himself to any dimensions, alone, ocean of the Vedas, of graceful long arms, whom the yogis find difficult to locate in the hearts during meditation, from whose speech issues, Lord of Indra, liberal, giver of wealth, myriad formed, of infinite dimensions, source of luminous rays, illuminator of all, possessor of strength, self-effulgent, diffuser of heat and light, rich in knowledge, detachment, clear and impenetrable sound, progenitor and goal of the Vedic mantras, cool and nourishing moon rays, resplendent sun, source of the nectarine moon, shining gloriously, nourishing all plants and herbs as the moon, God of gods, soul medicine for the disease of becoming, the bridge for crossing the ocean of mundane existence, employing his prowess for truth and righteousness, Lord and refuge of the past, present and future beings, great purifier, causing the wind to blow, sustaining life as fire, destroyer of desires, fulfiller of desires, enchantingly lovely, supreme beloved, granting all desires, supreme in all respects, originator of aeons, turning the aeons, having many mayors, most voracious eater, who swallows up all creatures during dissolution, ungraspable by the mind and the senses, with a tangible form, vanquisher of 1,000 demons, conqueror of countless beings, dear to all, loving all equally, especially dear to the Yanis, wearer of a peacock feather, binding creatures by his maya, showering of blessings, dispelling anger from all seekers, assuming anger while dealing with the wicked, with arms on all sides, substratum and supporter of the earth, changeless, whose glory has spread everywhere, sustainer of prana, giving life and strength to gods and death to demons, younger brother of Indra, treasury of waters, round of the cosmos, never forgetful or inattentive or committing a mistake, supported by his own greatness. Commander-in-Chief of the Celestial Army, upholder of Dharma, sustainer of the cosmic burden, granter of boons, supporter of the 7 great winds, who is in everything in you, son of Vasudeva, lord of men, friend and well-wisher of all, taking 100 incarnations for establishing Dharma, bearer of a lotus in his hand, lotus-eyed.
Center of the cosmic lotus, lotus-eyed, dweller in the heart of the lotus, sustainer of the body, of glorious wealth and unquestionable sovereignty, who has expanded himself to be the universe, ancient self, great-eyed, having an eagle as his insignia on his flag, unrivaled, luminous self, terrible, knower of the reality of time, whose best worship is the vision of equality, receiver of oblations, known through different methods of inquiry, consort of Lakshmi, ever victorious,
undecaying, red complexion, who incarnated as a fish, the way, material and instrumental cause of everything, who was tied by Yashoda with a cord round his waist, all enduring, supporter of the earth, ever fortunate, exceedingly swift, of insatiable appetite, originator, stirring primordial matter, sporting with creation, having the cosmos within him before and after creation, greatest Lord, instrumental cause, material cause, doer, creator of endless varieties, hidden from view, concealing himself by his own power, resolute and preserving, persevering, governing the universe in an orderly manner, absorber of all, conferring states of positions on devotees, fixed and constant, possessor of the greatest majesty and possession, exceedingly vivid, ever contented, of auspicious and lovely glands, in whom the yogis revel, abode of perfect rest, passionless, path of salvation, guide, leader. Without leader or commander, heroic warrior, mightiest of the mighty, Thor of being, greatest knower of Dharma, uniter of elements, consuming all sins, life's breath of all beings, giver and taker of life. Oh, that which is praised and adored by gods, the golden egg out of which Brahma was born, destroyer of enemies, all-pervasive creator of fragrance, whose vital fluid never flows downward, Lord of seasons, whose glimpse is auspicious, time which counts everything, centered in his own infinite glory, receiving devotees' offerings gladly and readily, terrible, of whom even the sun, wind, and fire are frightened, abode of all beings, clever and quick, resting place, the most skillful and efficient. Extending himself limitlessly, firm and motionless, proof of everything, immutable seed, being most pleased and delightful, whose every desire has been fulfilled, wrapped in great sheets, most delightful to enjoy, supremely wealthy, unwary, with a gross cosmic form, birthless, the post to which all dharmas are tied, great sacrifice, knave of the stars and planets, the moon, lord of stars, patient as the earth, surviving even when all others perish in the final deluge of benevolent desires. Sacrifice, goal of sacrifice, supreme object of worship, sacrificial post, the sacrifice to which learned men are called, destination of all the good, all-knowing, ever-free, omniscient, highest wisdom, of the pure vow, of enchanting face, subtlest of the subtle, of auspicious Vedic sounds, giving happiness to the noble and taking away joy from the vicious, disinterested friend, fascinating, conqueror of anger and other passions, valiant armed, terror of diabolical creatures, putting all beings to sleep by his mayor, his own master, all-pervading, becoming many, performing numerous functions, abode of all, supremely affectionate, universal father, womb of jewels, lord of bounteous wealth, protector of Dharma, of righteous deeds, seer of Dharma, unchanging and absolute, unreal, perishable, imperishable, non-knower, thousand-rayed, arbiter of destiny, author of all scriptures, light of lights, brave as a lion, mighty lord of beings, primal deity, supreme being, master of gods, preceptor of Indra, who lifts up from the ocean of worldliness, master of cows, protector of all, attainable through knowledge, most ancient, nourisher of the 5 elements of which the body is made, experiencer, Rama, the lord of monkeys, bestower of liberal gifts, who drinks the soma juice offered in sacrifices, enjoyer of his own immortal nectarine bliss, nourishing the plants as the moon, conqueror of hordes of enemies, omnipresent and the greatest, punisher of evildoers, victory incarnate, whose resolves are always fulfilled, born in the Dashara race, lord of the followers of the Sattva branch of Tantra, embodied being, witness of the change in his devotees from pride to humility, bestower of salvation, of immeasurable prowess, ocean, beyond the limitation of space, time, and substance, who lies on the great ocean during the deluge, death, mutability, Lord of love, worthy of highest worship, of immutable nature, conqueror of internal and external enemies, constant enjoyer of his own eternal blissful nature, unbounded pure bliss, bestower of bliss, who has transcended sensuous limited pleasures with unchangeable qualities of wisdom bliss, who covered the 3 worlds with 3 steps, who manifested as the great sage Kapila, the universe and its soul, lord of the earth, 3-lettered Om, master and witness of the 3 states of waking, dream, and deep sleep, with a huge horn in his Vishnu incarnation, destroyer of death, great boar, who is known through the Vedas, with an army of angels to carry out his work, wearing golden armlets, hidden in the heart cave, unfathomable, impenetrable, concealed deep inside, bearer of the discus and the mace.
Yeah, no.
Universal parent and guide, accomplishing all tasks by himself without external aids, invincible. Who incarnated as Krishna Dvaipayana, firmly retaining his divine powers in their fullness in spite of descending to the earth in various incarnations, absorbing the cosmos into himself without falling away from his own essential nature. Setting sun, son of Varuna, the cosmic tree, filling all space of vast mind, having the six great glories, destroyer of the world during dissolution, absolute bliss, wearing the Vaijayanti garland of forest flowers, wearing the plough as his weapon in his incarnation as Baladara, the son of Aditi in his incarnation as Vamana, the resplendent greater sun residing within the solar orb, enduring pairs of opposites such as heat and cold, highest goal, bearer of the auspicious Charanga bow, wielder of the great axe in his incarnation as Parashurama, merciless towards the unrighteous, liberal giver of wealth, touching the sky in his universal form revealed to Arjuna, great Vyasa who saw all truths and arranged all knowledge into the Vedas, the unborn Lord of knowledge.
Chips, I just went and ordered.
Glorified by three kinds of Sama song, singer of Sama song, Samaveda, the goal of deliverance from sorrow, unfailing remedy for the disease of becoming, divine physician who taught the science of the absolute in the Gita, institutor of sannyasa, subduer of all unruly passion, unattached to pleasure, in whom all creatures rest in dead silence during dissolution, whose very nature is peace, having attained whom one never returns. Of the most beautiful form, giver of peace, creator of embodied being, rejoicing in his creation, lying on the conch of the serpent Sisha, floating in the ocean surrounding the earth, lover and savior of cows and the earth, husband of the earth, who conceals himself in creations by power of Maya, whose eyes are Dharma itself, who delights in Dharma, who never knows retreat, detached from pleasures and enjoyments, who gathers the wide world into himself the time of dissolution, who protects devotees by enabling them to preserve securely what they have gained, who purifies an aspirant by the very thought of his name, having the sacred Sri Vastama on his chest, whose bosom is the eternal abode of Lakshmi, who was chosen by Lakshmi to be her beloved husband, greatest master of the rig, and Samavedas, giver of wealth and glory, Lord of Lakshmi, the goddess of success, wealth and glory, who dwells and manifests in good people, treasure house of all energies, who confers wealth and glory on people according to their accumulated merit, always bearing Lakshmi, bestower of wealth and fame on his devotees, the highest good, possessor of all riches and power, shelter from the free world, with beautiful eyes, with captivating limbs, whose bliss is immeasurable, of the nature of infinite bliss, Lord of all luminous bodies, with complete control over his mind, under nobody else's control, of true fame, beyond doubts, who surpasses everyone, with eyes on all sides, with none to rule over him,
But it has to be.
eternal and immutable, resting on the ground in his Rama incarnation,
Right.
who adorns the world,
I
pure existence, without sorrow, destroyer of sorrow, source of all effulgence, worshipped even by Brahma, the primordial pot in which all powers and deities are established, the absolutely pure self, supreme purifier, who cannot be vanquished by an opponent,
I mean, I think
without an enemy who can stand against him,
kind of like
possessor of limitless wealth, of unbounded might, slayer of the demon Kalanemi, time, most valiant warrior, born in the Shudra clan, who overcomes great warriors by his extraordinary prowess and rules them. The innermost reality of the three worlds, governor of the three worlds, whose long hairs are the rays which illuminate the sun, slayer of the demon Keshi, annihilator of the ills of the world, whom the people worship for the fulfillment of their four aspirations, fulfiller of the desires of his devotees, completely fulfilled, of ravishing beauty, author of the scriptures, whose light fills all space and even goes beyond, with characteristics of quick motion, existence, radiance, endless. Arjuna, who conquered kingdoms and gained vast wealth, patron of the Vedas, author of all these, creator of all, true knowledge which dispels all difference and duality, promoter of the Vedas, austerities, knower of the Vedas, disseminating Vedic knowledge through Brahmans, whose glory is enhanced by Brahman, knower of his own absolute nature, of immeasurably long strides, performer of great deeds, by whose light the sun is fed with light and shine, the great serpent Tesa upon which Lord Vishnu reclines, great sacrifice, performer of great sacrifices, sacrifice, great offering, great object of praise, pleased by sincere praise and prayer, song of praise, act of praise, praiser, lover of battles, full of everything that could be wished for by anyone, making his devotees full like himself, fountain of purity, of pure and fully merited fame, untouched by any physical or mental ailments, as swift as thought, founder of the 14 auxiliary sciences, with golden vital fluid, munificent giver of material wealth, giver of the wealth of salvation, son of Vasudeva, who resides in the hearts of all beings and in whose heart all beings reside, redeemer of all beings, oblation, the goal of good and noble seekers, of great benevolent deeds, pure, eternal, cherished destination of the knower of truth, having armies of valiant warriors like Hanuman, the foremost in the clan of Yadu, abode of the pure-hearted, loved by the righteous people living on the banks of the Yamuna, dwelling place of all beings, covering the cosmos with his maya, abode of all life energies, of limitless glory and power, subduer of pride, giver of pride, ever drunk with his own bliss, difficult to concentrate on, unvanquished, of universal form, reclining upon the Shesha couch in his celestial form, of resplendent form, formless, multiform, unmanifest, of myriad forms, of countless faces. one without a second, exhibiting himself as many, of the nature of the soma sacrifice in which soma juice is extracted and later drunk, supreme happiness, the sole object of inquiry by all yogis and jnanis, that which is self-existent, implicated by that, unequaled state of perfection, friend of all, solicited by all, born in the family of Madhu, full of boundless love for his devotees. Gold complexion, with golden body and limbs, with beautiful, well-proportioned form, adorned with lovely armlets, slayer of heroes on the enemy's side, unequaled, void. Totally devoid of any want, unmoving, of unchangeable nature, constantly moving as the wind, free of vanity, giver of honor, worthy of greatest honor, master of all the 14 worlds, supporter of the 3 worlds,
Hey, Charlotte.
of bright and pure intelligence, who reveals himself in sacrifices by his grace, supremely fortunate, whose intelligence never fails, as Shesha, bearer and supporter of the earth, who produces clouds by the rays of his sun and pours down rain, bearing a splendid effulgent form, bearer of those who wield weapons, best of those, who accepts with satisfaction the offerings made by devotees, controlling the entire cosmos by his power, always intent on fulfilling his devotees' desires, many-horned, invoked through mantras, four-formed, four-armed, having 4 manifestations, the final destination of the seekers of all 4 castes, with 4 internal organs, from whom the 4 aspirations are derived, fully conversant with the 4 Vedas, of whose power the whole cosmos is a mere fraction, turning the cosmic wheel efficiently, moving the whole cosmos without moving himself, unconquerable, whose commands cannot be transgressed, unattainable without devotion, difficult to comprehend, not easily accessible to the wicked, whom the yogis lodge in their hearts with great difficulty, slayer of mighty armies of demons, of graceful limbs, easily accessible through the repetition of Om, emanating from his own being fine cosmic threads, expanding and destroying the universe, ruling the entire cosmos, whose deeds are mighty, whose deeds are meant for the evolution of embodied soul, author of the Vedas, of glorious births, of unsurpassed beauty, whose heart is always wet with compassion, of fascinating navel, of enchanting eyes, worshipped even by those whom the world worships, be bountiful giver of food, with 1 horn in the fish incarnation, whose blessings bestow all riches and success, omniscient and conqueror of all internal and external enemies, whose celestial form shines like gold in every particle, unshaken by passion or temptations, the greatest master of all speech, cool pool of bliss, whose maya is the bottomless ocean, great being, treasure house of all souls, who gladdens the earth by relieving her of her burden of sinners, who tore the earth in the boar incarnation, as captivating as the kunda flower, who showers grace to allay the scorching heat of worldliness, greatest purifier of all who remember him, who never sleeps, immortal nectar of a mortal body, knower of everything, having faces on all sides, whom it is easy to please, fasting and feasting properly in accordance with his own vows, whose greatness and glory are his own, ever triumphant over enemies, scorcher of enemies, who rises and lives over the top of the entire cosmos, transcending the sky, tree of life, a mighty wrestler, emanating innumerable dazzling rays, seven-tongued god of fire, the sacred fire into which seven sticks are thrown ceremonially, sun god riding in his chariot drawn by seven horses, totally devoid of subtle and gross matter, painless and sinless, incomprehensible to the mind and intellect, striking terror in the hearts of the vicious, exterminator of fear, subtlest, greatest, slim and delicate, grossest, assuming three gunas for creation, sustenance and dissolution, devoid of attributes, of the highest glory, who supports all but is supported by none, self-supported, of effulgent faith, of the most ancient ancestry, who manipulates his descendants, bearing the cosmic burden, who is declared to be the highest goal by the Vedas, realizable through yoga, king of yogis, granter of desired fruits, resting place for those tossed about by the storms of life, chastiser of those groveling in ignorance, who reduces persistent sinners to miserable straits, in whom is rooted the samsara tree, by whose command wind blows. Always carrying a mighty bow in the Rama incarnation, an excelled master of the science of archery, punisher of the wicked, who as Yama and other deities purges sinners by punishment. Punishment which reforms wrongdoers, ever unvanquished, with the power to accomplish any task he takes up, controller of all subsidiary cosmic functions, who is under the control of none, who knows no death. Having heroic courage and strength, mainly established in the Sattva Guna, extremely good to holy beings, unshakably devoted to truth and Dharma, sought after earnestly by those who want to realize all of the four goals, who is worthy of being given what is valuable and dear to one's heart, deserving all the different modes of worship described in the scriptures, who honors and extols his devoted worshippers, who releases more and more love and devotion in his devotees' hearts, having his abode in the sky, self-illuminated, whose desires and tastes are combined with benevolence and grace, real enjoyer of all oblations offered to different deities, present everywhere, who as the sun absorbs vapors from the earth below, dear in different ways to different devotees, who as the sun generates various kinds of wealth, father of all, having the sun for his eye, unlimited by space and time, consumer of oblations, enjoyer of the world, who wards off difficulties and pains coming to his devotees, taking many births for the sake of humanity, first to appear in the cosmos, who never suffers any disappointment, ever ready to forgive trespassers, sole substratum of the universe, ever an object of wonder, unlimited by time and issues from him, most ancient, of yellow colour resembling the colour of all consuming conflagration, who drinks off vapours from the earth, indestructible resting place, bestower of blessings, ever active for the welfare of his devotees, auspiciousness, bliss incarnate, enjoyer of blessings, who bestows blessings deftly, without fierce actions, wearing earrings, bearer of the Sudarshana chakra, of most heroic valor, whose commandments cannot be violated, transcending all worlds, amenable to indirect verbal description, cool lake for those burned by worldly torments, creator of darkness, never getting furious or brutal, friendly and soft in all actions, acting promptly and efficiently, bountiful giver, excelling all others in patience and endurance, creator of the wise, totally free from fear, whose names, if heard and sung, bring the highest good, lifting aspirations out of the ocean of change, destroyer of sins and hopeless sinners, teaching through scriptures how to acquire merit, dispeller of bad dreams, who put an end to the cycle of birth and death, protector of the three worlds, manifesting his glory through the righteous, life of all beings, filling the entire cosmos, of infinite forms, of endless glories, who has conquered anger, dispeller of the fears of worldly life, who acts justly, of unfathomable nature, distributor of fruits to persons according to their deserts, who issues commands to various cosmic forces, who reveals to the world by the scriptures the mystery of karma and its fruits, who is the cause of all but has no other cause, supporter of the earth, beautiful and splendor of the world, appearing in the various lovely forms, wearing beautiful armors, creator of all living beings, root cause of the birth of all beings, terrifying to transgressors of his commands, striking his enemies with terror by his irresistible might, fundamental sustainer of all beings, requiring for himself no support, blooming like a flower into the universe, ever awake and alert, on the top of everything, scrupulously walking on the path of truth and righteousness, life-giver, Om, who first gave names to the things he created, proof of his own glory, root cause into which the vital airs go back at death, who takes the form of food and gives vitality to living beings, Purana, absolute reality, aware of the truth of himself, sole non-dual self of the universe, beyond birth, death, and age, who created the tree of the three worlds by uttering the seed sounds Ba, Baba, and Swa, who helps to cross these worlds by these very sounds, Father of all, Father of the Father of all beings, of the form of sacrifice, Lord of sacrifices, performer of sacrifices, whose body consists of things employed in sacrifices, who ensures that sacrifices are conducted according to scriptural injunctions, protector of sacrifices, performing sacrifices in the beginning and the end of creation, the master to please whom all sacrifices are performed, enjoyer of sacrificial offerings, sacrifices to whom purify the mind, making it worthy of God realization, giver of the reward of sacrifice, secret of sacrifice, himself becoming food, eater of food, material cause of creation, self-begotten, who in the boar incarnation dug through the earth deeper and deeper, killed Hiriyan Yaksha, who lived in the nether regions. Fond of singing the sum of Veda, joy of Mother Devaki, author of the whole world, who ruled the whole world in the Rama incarnation, who annihilates sins from men's hearts as they remember. Worship, meditate on him, and sing his praises and name.